First and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Racha, Kudash. Double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. In this lesson, I want to get into investing, but not in the investing that you would think in the worldly aspect, but investing into the truth. So I'm going to start with this precept. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 1. It says, "Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days." Now, it's not literally meaning taking your bread and throwing it in water, but meaning your resources, your time, your effort, your money, cast it into things, meaning invest into things, and you shall find it after many days. I forgot what song came out years ago. Well, maybe I shouldn't say years ago, but maybe like maybe more than 5 years ago. I forgot what rapper said, closed mouths don't get fed. So if you want to, get something, you can't, be just all hoarding your resources or just keeping everything to yourself. If you want to, get something, you have to give. In order to get, you have to give. So that's what I want to get into in this lesson, that if you want the kingdom of heaven, if you want the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, you have to invest your time. You have to invest your money. You even make investments with money in this truth, because what certain books help to edify and things like that. So even that is an investment in the truth. So if you want to get the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, you have to invest your time, which is, taking your time to study, taking your time to learn, watching the videos. If you want extra information, not saying that these books are better than the Bible, but they do help with edification. If you invest your money into certain books, that is also investing your money in the truth. And you're also, most importantly, investing your time in the truth as well. And this is all going to help to receiving that salvation, so that way, Lord's willing, you can, Lord's willing, if you're a part of the elect, partake in the kingdom of heaven, be the first fruits of the kingdom of heaven. And that's what this lesson is going to be into, like I said, is investing your time, your money, your resources, and such forth. So, I want to just get a simple definition on investing. This is from Wikipedia. As you can see, investment. It says, investment is the dedication of an asset to attain an increase in value over a period of time. Investments require a sacrifice of some present asset, such as time, money, or effort. Like I said earlier, when whether you doing your videos, studying, or spending money on books, that is all a sacrifice. And I'll read that one more time. It says, investment is the dedication of an asset to attain an increase in value over a period of time, right? I forgot what precept it is, but it says, for we have no continuing city here, but we seek one to come. It says the Lord will one day set up a kingdom, one day that's profitable, because here in this kingdom, there's nothing profitable at all. Like it says, let me get that precept. If I'm not mistaken, Micah 2 and 10. If I can't find it, then I'll just quote it. Right, this is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. Right, so we see that we have no continuing city here. There's nothing to profit, there's nothing to gain here in America, because it's all going to destroy you. So now we have to look to the future. We have to look towards Yahushua, because Yahushua is bringing the kingdom of heaven. But if we want to be partakers of that kingdom of heaven, we have to invest what? We have to invest our time. We have to sacrifice. Excuse me. We have to sacrifice our time. We have to sacrifice our money. We have to sacrifice pretty much ourselves. Matter of fact, another precept comes to mind. I believe it's Romans 12 and 1. Right. This is Romans chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service, right? So you are now the sacrifice, and as being that sacrifice, you have to be consecrated, you have to be holy, separate from this world. And when people invest, although I'm not an investment guru or nothing like that, so don't think that I am, but from certain people I have talked to about investment, they have to separate. They have to when they want to invest in things, they go to they separate themselves and they start talking to other like-minded people who also into investing, because they know if they talk to the worldly people, they don't know nothing about it, and they want to be around like-minded people. So like Apostle Paul said, uh, present your bodies as a living sacrifice. And when you present your body as a living sacrifice for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you have to be holy. You have to be separate from this world. As it says in verse 2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Right? So going back. So when you want to invest, you have to separate yourself. You have to, there's moments where you have to sit there by yourself and think about what you're trying to do, what's your move gonna be, and you can't do that when you're surrounded by a whole bunch of people, because you know how worldly people are. They're into the world, they're into this, they're into that, and you don't need any distraction. So it's the same thing with this truth. If you want to invest into the kingdom of heaven, you have to be separate. You have to be consecrated, separate by yourself, so that way the Most High can work with you, so that way he can give you the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, the riches, which is the wisdom, knowledge, understanding. So continuing, I'm going to skip this paragraph, but go here, right? It says investors generally expect higher returns. Hold on, let me see real quick. Yeah. It says investors generally expect higher returns from riskier investments. Right. So what we're doing, making our bodies a living sacrifice, as sometimes you hear certain brothers, when you watch the videos, they'll say, brothers who are risking their lives and their freedoms for the word's sake. So you doing this, making your body a living sacrifice, putting yourself out there. You're not being like, one of Esau's superheroes and having a mask and doing this work. No, you're pretty much exposing yourself. You're putting yourself out there for the whole world to see you. Everybody sees your face. Everybody, some of your friends even know where you live, and family members know what you're about. So you would put yourself out there. So it's the same thing. It says investors generally expect higher returns from riskier investments. So you can kind of consider the truth, if I can speak as a man, as a risky investment, because you're making yourself an enemy, not only to your family and friends, but to the government, to the world, you know. So all these things are risky. It's like, and if you don't, you know, if you're not careful, how can I put this? Um, you have to, I think we were going over this in camp the other day. You have to be careful in this truth. You have to, watch your steps, because like it says in Second Ezra's, if I'm not mistaken, the 7th chapter. Only one man could go in there at a time on that straight and narrow path, and there's water on the left hand side, and then there's fire on the other side. So this path that you're on is a risky thing. It's like that risky investment. And if you're not, careful with what you're doing, you could drown into the water, or you could fall into the fire and burn. So that's how investments are. It's like it's really risky. It's either you go big or you go home, you know? So I'll read that one last time. It says, investors generally expect higher returns from risky investments, although there is a risk that you can lose everything, but the reward is a lot bigger, because the more risk there is, the more reward there is for it, because it's like I'm putting pretty much my everything into this one thing. I'm putting all my eggs into this one basket. If this don't work, then I'm pretty much done, you know? So that's the same thing with this truth. You're pretty much putting everything out there. You're putting your life on the line. You're even in, if you could, even endangering your family. I've had my father say that to me straight up. He's like, you're endangering us, which I can't do nothing about that. This is the will of the Lord for me to do this work. But, it's a very risky investment. But think about the reward that comes from this risky investment. You're pretty much making yourself an enemy of the state, making yourself an enemy of your family and friends, pretty much an enemy of the world. And that's what you would rather want than to be an enemy of the Most High. But think about it. All this risk, all this heat coming down upon you, that means that the reward must be worth it. And that's what you got to think about. And that's what investors think about. Yeah, they sit there and think about, oh, if this goes bad, I could lose everything. But if it goes right, I'm going to get so much more and then some. And like Yahweh Shah said, you either have, matter of fact, let's get that. I'm not mistaken, 19th chapter. Right. This is Matthew chapter 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, which he's talking to Yahushua, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have thereafter? So just like with the investing, we've put everything into you. We've left everything behind. We've followed you just like you would do an investment. I've put all my eggs into this one investment. If this don't work, then I've just put everything into this investment. I'm hoping that this thing comes through. Right? So that's what Peter's pretty much saying to Yahushua. We've left everything that we've known for you. And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Verse 29, And every one that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive an hundredfold, and shall inherit everlasting life. So even though the risk that you've given and everything, you've put, your investment was a big risk, when the payoff comes, you'll receive a hundredfold for that, because you're not only going to get the benefits of whatever you invested in, but you're going to get, even double, triple, quadruple that. So that's what Yahushua is saying, that look, all you that have followed me in the regeneration, when I come into my glory, you're going to inherit everything. You're going to get back a hundredfold of what you had now. You may have a tenth, you may have, a percent right now of something. You may have one woman, a couple of kids, but in the kingdom of heaven, like it says, a small one shall become a great nation. So that's what Yahushua is saying. Basically, you're going to receive a hundredfold for, investing in me, investing in this work that I've put you forth to do. So let me see this. Yeah, so that was it on the investment part. So now let's go to the parable with Yahushua, with the talents. This is Luke chapter 19 and 12. Luke chapter 19, verse 12. He said, Therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, Occupy till I come, which is what we're doing right now. The occupation is being occupied in prophecy, occupied in this work, seeing what's going on, so that we can warn the sheep of Yahweh Bashim Ashai about what's going on. And we don't have many prophecies left anyways, but still, you know. And let's go into that word occupy. And it says to be occupied in anything, to carry on a business, which this is pretty much the Lord's business, so we have to be occupied in it. To carry on the business of a trader or a banker, right? It says to busy oneself in the Strong's definition, to busy oneself with, to trade, occupy. So we have to be occupied in the work. Let's look at that in a different translation as well. Right, the NLT. It says, before he left, he called together he called together 10 of his servants and divided among them 10 pounds of silver, saying, invest this for me while I am gone. So you see, basically put time, effort into this talent that I've given you, basically flip that, so when I come back, I get, double of what I gave you before. So invest into this, what I've given you. And what's the investment? The wisdom, knowledge, understanding that Yahweh Shai, when he went up upon the cross, gave to us. When he went upon the cross, the 7 seals were broken, which was the understanding of the scriptures. And every man has his talent. Like it tells you in Matthew, the 13th chapter, some men, when they bring forth fruit, some men 30-fold, some men 60-fold, some men 100-fold, if I'm not mistaken. So Yahweh Shai has distributed among every man his measure, and basically when you get that talent, do something with it. Don't just sit on it, like we're going to go through in this parable. Whatever your measure is, whatever how much the Lord gave you in the spirit, do something with it. Invest into it, and double that. Let's say you might be a person who has 30-fold. Invest into that. You know, and Lord's willing through the Lord's will, He increases you. You could go from 30-fold to 60-fold. You know, this work is all about doing more. We can never do enough. So when you have the spirit of the Lord, you want to flip that basically and do more with it. You don't want to just sit on what the gift that the Lord gave you and do nothing with it. This gift wasn't given to you for no reason. Just like how people say in the world, they'll say things like, use what God gave you. You got God-given talent, use it. He didn't give you that talent for no reason. So it's the same thing here. Use the talent that the Lord gave you, which is His Spirit, the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and use what He gave you to, increase. Use the talent that He gave you. So I'll read that again. Luke chapter 19, verse 13. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, Occupy till I come. But his citizens hated him and sent a message after him, saying, We will not have this man to reign over us. And it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, he then commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading, right? So investing your time, like I want to get into the point of this video. Then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound had gained 10 pounds, right? So he gave him 10, and he came back with another 10, which is 20. And he said unto him, well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in very little, thou have thou authority over 10 cities. And the second came, saying, Lord, thy pound had gained 5. And he said likewise to him, Be thou also over 5 cities. Verse 20. And another came, saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin. For I feared thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. So instead of him going out there and trading or investing in the talent that his Lord gave him, he just kept it laid up in a napkin somewhere until the Lord came. And it's like, let's continue reading. Verse 22. And he said unto him, Out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest that I was an austere man, which austere meaning serious. He was a non-joking man. Taking up that I did, Slakia, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. Wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have acquired mine own with usury? So you could have done something with the talent I gave you instead of just keeping it folded up in a napkin and not doing anything at all. Because what excuse do you have? These other servants of mine, one came back with 10 pounds. He said, thy pound had gained 10 pounds. Another one came back with 5. But here it is, you just kept it in a napkin and did nothing with it. So like, the theme of this lesson I wanted it to be was basically going on into investing. Don't sit on what the Lord gave you. Invest into this truth. You can do something with this with the word that the Lord has given you. He didn't give it to you for no reason. So use the talent that the Lord has given to you. Invest in the truth. Invest your time. Like with investing, like I said, I've talked to a couple of people about it. I'm not no investment guru, but some people say with investing, things take time. Things is not gonna just be this, blow up, on the first day or whatever, which in this microwave society, is popcorn society. That's what people want. People want things to just blow up on the first day. No, when you invest certain time, things are not gonna go right. There's gonna be some down days. There's gonna be some, medium days. There's gonna be some up days. You might, that investment that you put your time into might blow up. But for us, this investment right now is on the come up right now. It's, we're seeing with the prophecies, like brothers say, are popping off like popcorn. So right now would be the best time if you're in this truth, to invest in the truth, invest into the kingdom, so that way you can reap something. You can reap the benefits of the kingdom of heaven. Because 2/3 of our people, they didn't invest anything into the Lord. They wanted nothing to do with the Lord, so they're not gonna reap any benefits of the kingdom of heaven. Although they will be in the kingdom, but there's gonna be levels to everything. But for those, the elect who invested their time and effort and money into the truth, they're going to reap the benefits under Yahushua. They're going to reap the benefits of the kingdom. So, uh, continuing, verse 22, and he said unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. Wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have acquired mine own with usury? Right, so you could have done something with the money instead of just keeping it in a napkin. This truth is not to be kept within yourself. It's to be put out there for everybody to see. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that precept. But that's Matthew 5. Right. This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 13. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men. Right, because you use what? Salt for seasoning. But if the salt don't have no seasoning, what are you going to use the salt for? I ain't eating no saltless salt. But then what? Like it says, if the salt has lost its savior, it's good for nothing to be trodden under the foot of men, because that's what men use the salt for, right? Because that salt that they put on the ground to melt the ice or whatever, you don't eat that salt. Continuing, verse 14, ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Right, so ye are the light. Neither do men, verse 15, neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Right, so you don't take a candle and put it underneath your bed. No, you take it and you leave it on wherever you need to, so it'll give light to the whole house. So it's the same thing with this talent. You don't put it in a napkin and just leave it somewhere and don't do anything with it. No, you invest. You put your time, your effort, your money into this truth. Excuse me. So continue in verse 24, Luke chapter 19, verse 24. And he said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound and give it to him that had 10 pounds. And you don't want that. You don't want the Lord to take his Holy Spirit from you and give it unto another. You don't want that. That's the scariest thing ever. So basically, in this lesson, do something with what the Lord gave to you. Don't sit on it. People don't sit on their worldly talent and do nothing with it. How much more the talent that the Lord has given us. So this will be my last precept, and I'll close it out. Well, actually, no, I'll think about it. Yeah, we'll see. This is Proverbs chapter 14, verse 23. In all labor there is profit, right? So that's all I want. In all labor there is profit. So this is a labor, you got to remember, right? This is a labor of love. So just like how in the world in all labor there's profit, even though those people who do that tie themselves to Esau. They're doing satanic things behind the scenes, behind doors. But what there's in their eyes there is a profit to that, because what they get goodies. So how much more if they profit in doing wickedness, how much more us who shall profit in righteousness? We're our profit, our labor is not in vain, like Apostle Paul speaks about. We're laboring for eternal life. We're laboring for an eternal kingdom. What our people and people of this world labor for, yeah, there is profit, but the profit is not going to pay off. It's not going to be everlasting. Our profit is an everlasting profit. The thing that we're investing into is going to be investment that is going to last for eternity. What investment do you know lasts for an eternity? Think about it. Matter of fact, since I quoted the Apostle Paul, let me just get that one piece that he says. This is what Apostle Paul said. 1 Corinthians chapter. I'm just gonna go straight to the point. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. And steadfast, when you go into some of the synonyms, it means to be stubborn. So be hard-headed for the Lord. The same way, our people are hard-headed and stubborn. They don't want to listen to the Lord. Well, be hard-headed and stubborn for the Lord and listen. Be hard-headed for the Lord. Be stubborn, don't break for these people that let not the incredulity of them trouble thee. So be stubborn for the Lord, you know. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. So this is not, you're not doing this for nothing. There's a profit at the end of this. There's a reward at the end of this. This is not for nothing, you know. If other people can't see that, let that be on them. But you can see it. You have the vision. This will be the last precept. Revelation chapter 14 and 13. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord, from henceforth, yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. So even in death, your works are going to follow you. So again, there's profit in this. There is profit in this labor that we're doing. This is not for nothing, but we have to keep investing our time, our money, our effort. And like I said, the money could be investing in books and things like that. So there's a reward for, putting your time, effort with the Lord. This is not for nothing, you know. But I pray at the point of this lesson was made. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Qudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.